It's me. So I'm finally starting to make my way through Leverage episodes. Took notes on the first one, and I'm gonna do them one at a time, I guess, as we go. I'm watching a conference call happen right now, so I'm probably gonna be quick with this one. The first job in the new season is called the Debutante job. Now that I'm later on down the line, I originally, like, looking back, was like, this episode's not that great. And then once I rewatched it now, I'm like, okay, so it has great moments in it that I really enjoyed. The first most important part is that Hardison is in this. He starts the episode so badass with, like, I love the concept of talking to your watch and making it lock doors and speed up and like airbags and stuff like that. Very Michael Knight vibes to it. And then like that wonderful little scene where he's like, talking about the bedazzled taser that Parker gave him is just great. So we definitely start with Sophie taking this job way too seriously. And, now that I've seen other episodes, you're going to see that this is a constant thing throughout this season. As we get further into the season, you're going to see that the theme of this season is how seriously Sophie takes this and how she has to reconcile with like who she was and who she's becoming. We're going to talk more about that in a little bit, but like it's important to watch Sophie this season. Early on, they have so many references that I love. They have the truffle reference to that one job. Hot in the kitchen job. Nope, that's not the way it's called. But basically the job where Elliot is trying to teach kids to cook and stuff like that. So that's cool. Then they have like the Doctor Who reference where Brianna like changes something on the screen and they all dress like the doctor and stuff. So again, fantastic. One of the things of this episode is Hardison and Brianna's relationship, which I'm really glad we finally got into. Because, they're both kind of doing the same thing. He definitely treats her like big brother, little sister kind of thing. So watching that play out throughout the episode is clever. Watching how he doubts her and stuff, and then like how she's constantly like, I know what I'm doing, it's fine. And even the team knows that she knows what she's doing. That's great. Of course, we knew that they're going to bring Harry back. I was actually concerned that we weren't going to bring Noah Wiley back this season, but of course we're going to bring him back, and we're going to bring him back in like the funny little Leverage way that they do. With Elliot, Elliot's little speech, and he looks so mad with like the speech that they gave him, and I had to like laugh when I like replayed it because he's just so mad with it. We bring back to Sophie. We bring back the wonderful Charlotte Prentice character, which you're going to notice is going to make an appearance quite often in this season. Good old Charlotte Prentice, which is when she starts going about, being Duchess of Hanover and royalty and stuff like that. Love that, because I like Charlotte Prentice is probably one of my, the most interesting characters that I always wish that we explored. You're gonna find out a lot about Charlotte Prentice in this season, but like I really love that like we keep going back to her. One of the things that I also thought was funny about this was the old rocker. I don't know who they were trying to. I want to say maybe Keith Richards. They're trying to channel with her being like a groupie with an old rocker or something like that. But you don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it could be any number of things. Watching Elliot fangirl over that guy is amazing because Elliot does not fangirl over anybody. So watching him do that is just hysterical. And then watching that she's Kiki or whatever, that Sophie's Kiki, and that's who, he's obsessed with. Like I said, season 2 is, this season 2, interestingly enough, this season 2 is about, Sophie discovering herself or putting to bed old personalities. If you remember in original Leverage, that season 2 was also about Sophie finding herself. Now, granted, season 2 original Leverage, Sophie was pregnant at that point in time. And then she had that point where she left to go, put her old personalities to bed. It seems like this season 2, she's like either finding new ones or picking them back up again or something. Like, we watch we would watch Sophie constantly have to, change who she is and stuff like that. But then I wonder how many there's throwaway people. But then I wonder how many longer cons she's had that she didn't have a chance to put to bed. In my head, I'm kind of like, how many did you put to bed in that old one? Because you bounced for like most of those episodes. We don't know how much time passed because we don't really talk about time here. But it's interesting to go ahead and be like, all right, season 2 in original Leverage was you putting the old ones to bed to find yourself, and this season 2 is waking them back up again to find yourself here too. So I like the synchronicity of that. And I don't know if that's intentional or if that's just we were always going down this road because Sophie needs to redeem herself and stuff like that. The way that Nate was the quote unquote main character of the original series. I feel like Sophie's the main character of this series. And I'm wondering if the whole show, like this whole thing, is about her redeeming herself rather than, everybody else. So anyway, back to other things. So Todd, Parker, so we met that guy Todd, who is the debutante's boyfriend or something. They had such a hard time with Todd in the ska band. Toad, Towhead, Tahati. Like, I was hysterical with that because I thought it was fantastic. It was also hysterical when they all show up dressed like they're right out of Coming to America. Like, that was fantastic as well. You can see how uncomfortable Brianna is, like, in the entire thing. And then, like, when they were like, hey, from Lesotho, and Hardison's like, he's met, like, three black people his whole life. He would not know. That was cool. The Elliot and Hardison interaction's always great. Elliot's beating people up. Hardison goes for a high five while they're doing it, which always makes me love Hardison. Of course, we mentioned Plan M. I'm actually surprised that Hardison didn't get mad that they mentioned let's go to Plan M, because usually, if you remember from the original show as well as for this show, Plan M is always the plan where Hardison dies. So, that's literally like the ongoing joke about Plan M being the one that Hardison dies in. But it just doesn't, it hasn't worked itself out. It ends, quickly. They burrowed the hole through all of it and stuff like that. And then conveniently, Scotland Yard is there and Interpol and blah, blah, blah. Sophie set that up and that's fine, whatever. They kind of wrapped it up. I think that's probably why I was like meh about this episode, because it wrapped it up a little too quickly and neatly. And I was like, it's fine. But it was a nice little focus on Brianna and Hardison more than anything, and I always enjoy whenever Aldous Hodge is in the show. You'll see that he's actually in the show more this season than he was in the first season. Not like every episode, but every couple of episodes you'll see him do something. Either he's there or he's doing something else. You'll see. He mentions a rich actor billionaire with a satellite. You'll find out more about that later. It's really, like I said, it was an okay start. To be honest with you, when I first watched it, I was like, man, I hope this season doesn't fall off. But as we've discussed, because I'm doing all of this out of order, it becomes amazing. So anyway, hope you like it. Let me know what you think. Bye.